Assalamu alaikum students, welcome to your English lesson for today. Now in today's lesson, you are going to be learning about animals that live in water. And your key vocabulary for today are, now when I say the key vocabulary, I want you to say them with me please. Now the first one is whales, then fish, turtles, diving, water, and frog. I'm going to say them again and I want you to say them with me. Whales, fish, turtles, diving, water, and frog. Amazing! Good job! Now at the end of today's lesson, you are going to learn how to identify animals that live in water, which means that we are going to learn about different animals and we are going to find different animals that live in water. Now let's get started. Animals that live in water. Now before we get started with the rest of the presentation, I would like to remind you that at the end of the lesson, there are a lot of fun games and optional activity sheets that you can complete. So you can go back to the presentation and you can complete those if you have time. And at the end of the lesson, I would like you to click on the assessment link and answer the questions about today's lesson. I want to see how much you understand from what we did in today's lesson. Now let's get started. So we're going to grab your swimsuit and your snorkel. This is a snorkel. You're going to cover your eyes and you're going to have something that's going to help you breathe. And let's dive in and see what animals live in water. Fish. Now fish can be found in salt water and fresh water. Now we learned about salt water because of the ocean in the last lesson. And do you remember how much of water we get from the ocean? Yes, it covers 97% of the water that we get on Earth. And then we get fresh water like our rivers and our lakes and what else? That's right, the rain. Good job. You remember your work from the last lesson. Amazing. Now, there are many different types of fish. Fish have gills that allow them to breathe underwater. So they have gills on the side of their bodies and it helps them to breathe underwater. And fish, they use their fins to move. Now these are fins. This is what helps them move around in the water. Now sharks. Sharks are predatory fish, which means that they eat other fish. Sharks have up to 300 teeth. Now I don't have 300 teeth. Do you? No, we don't. The sharks have so many teeth and they grow from their gums and they fall out very easily. Now, the cool thing about sharks is when a tooth falls out, it grows back in again. So they can lose as many teeth as they want because it will always come back. And some sharks, they have to keep moving forward so that they can breathe. They even move when they are sleeping. Now, if they stop moving, they will stop breathing, which means that they will die. So they always have to keep moving so that they can breathe. Now, jellyfish. Jellyfish have been around for over 650 million years. Now, some of you are 6 years old, some of you are 7. That is how long you have been around. Now, some jellyfish, there have been different types of jellyfish that have been around for so long. So the earth has had jellyfish for very, very long. Now, jellyfish do not have a brain and they use their tentacles to sting their prey. Now, their prey are the fish and the other creatures that they eat in the ocean. Now, the cool thing about jellyfish is that they don't have a brain. Now, dolphins. Dolphins are very intelligent creatures and they speak to one another by making whistle sounds, squeaks, and clicks. And they make all of these sounds with their mouth. Now, sea turtles. Sea turtles spend most of their time in the water. They only return to the land to lay their eggs. They will return to the same nesting ground where they hatched. So, sea turtles stay in the water. But when it's time for them to lay their eggs, they will go to the land and they will lay their eggs on the beach, so in the sand. Sea turtles eat jellyfish, seaweed, crabs, shrimp, sponges, and other small sea life. Now, sponges is a type of sea life that you find underwater. It's not like the sponge that you use to clean your kitchen. It's very different. Now, whales. There are many different species of whales, which means that there are many different types of whales. Whales breathe using a blowhole located on the top of their head. So can you see this hole over here at the top of the whale's head? That is called a blowhole, and they come to the surface of the water and they get oxygen from the air like us, and they breathe in from this blowhole. Whales eat a wide range of food, from small plankton, which is a small fish, to large animals like seals. Whales live in both warm and cold oceans. Now, did you know that we get warm oceans and we get cold oceans? How cool is that? And there are whales in both types of oceans. Now, frogs. Frogs lay their eggs in water. A baby frog is called a tadpole. So frogs live near the water, and when it's time for them to lay their eggs, they lay their eggs inside the water. The eggs will hatch in the water and the baby frogs will come out. The baby frogs are called tadpoles. So the tadpoles will stay in the water. They will live in the water until they become frogs. And the frogs then will live near the water. Now, learners, please don't forget that you will need to click on the assessment link to answer the questions about today's lesson. But I know that you're going to do an amazing job because I want to see how much you understood from today's lesson. You can click on any of these links to watch a YouTube video about water animals. And remember, these videos are optional and all of the videos are for educational purposes only. Now, I'm so proud of you and well done for today's lesson. Assalamu alaikum.